Welcome to the Whole Maneuver Podcast. I'm Marc.
And I'm Mike. We're two hardworking dads trying to immerse ourselves in Star Wars and fit it into our very busy lives.
If this is your first time listening and or watching, in this sometimes short-form Star Wars podcast, we'll share our thoughts on different topics from a galaxy far, far away. Hey, guys, what was General Grievous's favorite band?
What would a robot with asthma want to listen to? I don't know.
Weezer.
I can do a toilet flush sound effect if you want.
Well, I was gonna say, speaking of islands in the sun, there's some islands in the sun in this season of Andor. Andor eventually will leave this mortal coil on a island in the sun, but until we get there, welcome back, our returning guest, Gyorfi.
Yo,
Welcome.
Hola from Quebexico.
Quebexico.
Hey, you are from Quebexico City. I just came back from Mexico City. That's so weird.
It's like they're twins or something.
Yeah, it's sister cities.
Yeah,
Sister
that's the one.
cities.
Sister cities.
Yeah,
On a two-way twister cities.
Yeah, are you from the Tia or the Tamara city?
Oh, well, since it's Quebexico and part of Canada, it's Tia and Tamara, eh?
For those of you who don't know, that is an old reference.
Yes.
That's one for our 90s kids.
Yeah, well, welcome millennials, or as the people in, I think, Eastern Europe call it, the DuckTales generation.
The DuckTales generation.
I'm
okay with that.
I think I prefer that to the millennials.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Consensus is DuckTale generation. It is.
Yes. But anyways,
I'd be okay with Ninja Turtles, but DuckTales will work.
Very well. Yes. So this week is episode 32 of the Whole Maneuver podcast, talking about the season 1 Andor finale, episode 12, Rix Road, which I can only assume that Rick and Morty will eventually make that their own title to an episode as well too.
I was just gonna say that was the weirdest Rick and Morty episode yet.
Yeah,
I didn't see any.
Didn't
pickles.
have them at all.
And there no pickles, no
animation even.
Yeah,
there's some bricks though.
True.
Oh.
2 bricks that I can recall.
You know what Marv is?
Broken.
She's a brick house. She's mighty. She's letting it all hang out. But anyways, so we don't have any news this week or any of I Am Your Father story time.
I have one I Am Your Father that I can go through because there's a great potential that I'm taking my kid to Galaxy's Edge Monday. Great potential.
Hey, that'll be the same day that I will also be at Galaxy Edge with my kid. Maybe episode 33, we should talk about Galaxy's Edge.
I don't know.
This foreshadowing?
If it is, it's terrible.
It's outright just saying it, basically. But
because I think we announced it several episodes ago that we'd be doing.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure the last time I was on, Marc said he was at least going to be doing the Galaxy's Edge.
Mm-hmm.
And I think
said it several times.
Won the fight to bring.
I did not win the fight. The wallets won the fight.
That's interesting that Disney was cheaper than Universal.
I was told it was considerably cheaper. Considerably.
Well, are you just going to Hollywood Studios?
No, they're doing Park Hopper.
Oh damn! So you're going to Hollywood Studios, Animal Kingdom, Magic Kingdom, and Epcot?
I don't know the exact rotation. Nice. Because we can't go to Magic Kingdom until after 2:30 p.m. because Disney said it's too busy.
Oh geez.
They know it's going to be busy until 2:30 p.m. 4 days in advance.
Yeah, they got scientists for that.
And I wore the wrong. After a season of wearing Star Wars shirts every week, I wore the wrong space shirt this week. But I did wear the Galaxy's Edge hat.
I just wore an Andor colored shirt this week.
There you go. I have Andor colored pants on. We'll get there. We go. So I got the red pants. How about you, Justin? What are you wearing?
I was gonna say Andor themed underwear, but
I was gonna say, remember this is on YouTube, and
yeah,
we don't want to get retroactively demonetized in the future when we're hopefully monetized. I don't know.
Check out my OnlyFans to find out. It's what I'm wearing tonight. It's for Jello enthusiasts.
Jello enthusiasts.
Or would it be only cans for Canada?
That's smarter than where I was going with it. So yeah, let's go with that. Only cans, strictly for Canadian content.
Yeah, it's
respectful and polite.
Yeah, it's funded by the government.
Where the doors are always unlocked.
Gives a new meaning to poutine.
Oh man, so it gets you your poutine routine.
Extra sloppy.
I'm lost here now.
This is gonna delineate to like a really bad
man.
So where before we get to that,
where are we?
Let's get the ever clean-minded Vactor segment.
We need him to bring us back.
Yeah. So with that, we will segue to Vactor's pre-recorded segment with his thoughts on the Andor finale via World Flash.
Well, they did it. I don't know how they did it, but they stuck the landing on Andor Season 1. The whole thing from start to finish was fantastic. One of the best things I've ever seen in the history of Star Wars, and my favorite TV show on TV. A little sad that it's over, but I'm very happy that we have all this great content that we can move forward. And I think when we first heard about an Andor series, it was like, why are they doing a character from Rogue One that we didn't even get to spend that much time with? But now that we have this whole first season, I'm very happy and very glad that we got the whole arc and the storyline of what is leading up to Rogue One. So fantastic work from Tony Gilroy, all the actors involved. I can't wait to see Season 2 of Andor. Yeah, let's go. Woo!
He forgot to talk about Andor entirely.
He was just talking about blue cereal the entire time and how he loved Cyril. Cyril's his favorite character. He really self-identifies with Cyril. Cyril's a spirit animal. But yes, so this week we're talking about the finale for Season 1 of Andor. And I guess before we really get into it, so Rix Road is the 12th and final episode of the first season of Andor. The episode was directed by Benjamin Caron and written by Tony Gilroy himself. And before we kind of start breaking down the episode, do our usual round robin of just your first thoughts and what you thought about the episode after watching it. We'll start with Justin and then go to Mike, and then I'll end it.
So I'm coming at this fresh. I just finished watching Andor finale.
Jealous.
3 hours ago. 3 hours ago, okay? From binging the whole series. My biggest thing I'm taking away from this is Andor needs counseling. I think a therapist would really help him. Then I'm glad to see the Decemberists got work with the musician group. Third was there's some weird acting choices, especially when somebody gets saved, and the reaction I very question. And 4, not enough aliens.
Agreed. I think we covered that many times throughout.
Although
we talk
technically
everyone's an alien.
Aliens.
Yeah, I want to see Martian creepers kind of thing. I want my werewolf people. I want more droids too. Just have droids in the background.
Mm-hmm.
Who needs more droids when you have the best droid ever in B2 Emo?
I feel though every Andor droid is the best droid ever.
It's true. Yeah. Yeah, Cassian only associates with the best droids. He's like, I like UK2SO and I like UB2 Emo.
They had those two aliens, the one who was a lame bodyguard, and then that one who was just kind of sleeping in the hotel room where the money was hidden.
They also
And
had the Fisher ones.
The Fisher.
Oh yeah, true.
And,
Fisher ones.
And those guys were in Rogue. Well, not those two specifically, but like that race of alien was in Rogue One.
And then we also had the alien from Saw Gerrera in that.
Oh yeah,
tubes, two tubes.
Two tubes.
Fin Tutuola.
Yeah. So I with you, Justin, really quick, what, since you had that kind of different perspective of being able to like binge like the whole story straight through, how did that kind of affect like how you saw the story overall as compared to like Mike and I that were like watching it from like week to week?
I think you might have been better off with the slow burn than watching it all at once, because I found myself being like getting distracted at points, and much easier because I'm just like, well, this isn't a big thing because whatever happens is I'm going to get out of it next episode, because the series got to continue and it's right there.
Right.
You have like no need for speculation.
Yeah. I had said it in I think a few episodes ago where I thought maybe not binging it as a whole, but maybe waiting and binging like the smaller arcs of the season would be a good thing. Kind of like how they released the premiere as the first 3 episodes. And not all of the season was like 3 episode chunks. There's a bunch of like the 3 episode arcs, but then there was like a one like kind of standalone bridge episode,
one off,
and then like
2 off.
Yeah, and then like the last 2 episodes were kind of like a penultimate and finale that kind of went together as a 2-act kind of thing.
It was mostly like that first arc, and then the prison. Those were the 3 episode chunks.
Right.
Yeah.
And then everything else was just 2 story.
Yeah, I liked your tweet I saw about basically like the whole prison escape
episode 10
arc. Yeah, where you're like, this is basically, and it's just a gif of Caesar from the new Apes movies. Which that's what I was thinking too, is based. Yeah,
that's why I did it.
Yeah. I thought that was good. But
no, it's because I'm a
Andy
big
Serkis was great
fan.
in this. Crypto? Like the dog?
Yeah. Crypto like the dog.
Like the Rock Johnson, Crypto the dog?
Yeah.
There you go.
Exactly.
But
it took me a minute. I was like, what the hell are they talking about?
Oh, it took me there too. I forgot that movie even came out.
I watched that movie and I forgot it came out. Take that, Rock. We forgot your movie came out.
Yeah,
like all your other movies. I didn't say that out loud. We just got kicked out of Disney.
But you definitely got kicked out of Universal. No, Warner Brothers? Which one's
Warner Brothers.
Fast and Furious is Universal.
Okay,
he was barely in that.
He's left the main Fast and Furious, and now he's just in the Hobbs and Shaw kind of.
Him and Vin Diesel couldn't agree whose bald head was better. So
who couldn't get over who used more baby oil?
Yeah.
Adam Sandler's brother. During Thanksgiving. That's a deep cut reference to Adam Sandler's Thanksgiving song. Look it up. I'm not gonna say what it's about on the episode. Just go look it up.
Andor, anyways.
Yeah. So Andor.
Let's close up these tangents.
Man, we're everywhere.
I actually had a hard time with Andy Serkis because when I see him, I just want him to be the villain now. I don't want him to be a good guy. I don't want to him to be like a reluctant character of some sort. I just want him to be straight up the bad guy, because he has that kind of face to me now.
He kind of was the villain to start.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I guess so. Yeah.
Because he was like, I'm in prison, you're in prison, you're going to listen to me, we're going to toe the line.
But then, love isn't always on time. Whoa. Toe the line.
We're
Except
everywhere.
for just like went off the rails.
I don't think we laid the rails. I think it's just gone. Oh well, they happen.
So were those your thoughts about the finale, Justin?
Oh, yes, those are my thoughts.
I can mute him at any time. Just let me know.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know.
I have no more ramblings. I kind of forgot where we went. So
how about you, Mike? What were your thoughts?
I enjoyed this. I wish I could have watched it straight through instead of in like 3 parts, just based on how my Wednesday was. It was so much to like about it. It was solid. I was disheartened because my crazy crackpots predictions all fell through, so that was upsetting. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, your theory partly kind of came true with Marva, just not in the same way that you thought that it was going to.
It wasn't tragic, but she had a good ending.
Yeah.
And then B2 Emo got yossed to the side. Just
oh man. We'll get there.
I
when
was
we talk
just
about
happy
it,
that he wasn't blown up.
Yeah.
True. Like that whole there's just some like they laid a lot of pipe for the next season, a lot of foundations, they answered a lot of questions. It was just solid. I enjoyed the whole series. I disagree with Andy Serkis because I don't see him as the villain. I see him as just a quality actor in a good role. But then again, I can see why you can always see him as the villain because generally he plays the villain, except in King Kong and Lord of the Rings.
And Planet of the Apes.
He played.
I thought he was the villain in Planet of the Apes. I thought Caesar was the villain.
Caesar's like the ape. He's the good
Never
guy.
Watched it. I'm not gonna lie.
The G.
Oh man, I mean, as we all know, humans suck. So that's why the
humans are the bad guys.
We're good. Yeah.
Apes are pure. Besides, there's always the one ape that's physically deformed.
I've only seen the original Planet of the Apes. That's why I assumed he was the villain. Because they weren't they the villains in the original ones? It's been a while.
As Obi-Wan would say, from a certain point of view.
This is not the Planet of the Apes podcast.
Side tangent. Those are very good. Highly recommend them though.
Legit,
I'm
probably
looking
actually my favorite sci-fi franchises.
And when you said King Kong, I was actually looking at like the 1933 King Kong poster out to my middle.
I saw the King Kong stuff over at Universal City Walk today. It's what's in my head. Nice. But no, it's funny to me how inept they made the Empire look throughout this whole series, and it kind of comes to a head in this episode with their just inability to predict the little things. Yeah, they made this massive attack on wherever it was with Blevin and Anton Krieger there, and without Dedra knowing, but it's just like they're so involved in their own, like self-involved, that they can't function as a unit. And it was just it was so highlighted throughout the series. I was looking at things, and there's supposedly this political undertone I missed in this episode with Cinta. So I want to go back and try and see if I noticed that. Just overall good setup for the next season. They didn't answer all the questions, and the questions I had are still like, all the questions I had weren't answered. Some were. A lot of stuff they laid down wasn't answered. So just intriguing. But it wasn't like I'm mad about it. It's just like the way they filmed it, the way they wrote it, the way they directed it, the way they presented it. It was just so different than what we've gotten from Star Wars. And it just was refreshing because it kind of gives you more meat to hold on to. And I totally agree. Lack of aliens. We talked about it several times, especially the prison, why they're all in like an all humanoid prison. And there was no aliens in that prison. Like, why is Ferrix basically all humans? It's just, well, overall, I really enjoyed it. Thought it was a quality ending, and it was, I wish I could have watched it once or twice just to have more to say about it.
Yeah. I've heard some other podcasts that I've been listening to that have been talking about Andor have also kind of um, said the same sentiment, like about noticing like being a lot of humanoid characters within the show and not a lot of I guess the best way to phrase it would be like not a lot of cantina-esque variation, as like when we like when you go to the cantina on Tatooine and you see like a whole plethora of different alien species they're chilling out in the bar. So, and I think in one of the interviews that Tony Gilroy did recently, he said like in the next season there would be more alien races in there, unless strictly just humanoid characters. So that's good to know too. And I liked this finale a lot as well too. I liked how it was shot, like kind of like a spy thriller-esque type thing, where like since everybody had kind of converged into this like one location finally for this episode, we kept kind of getting these different perspectives on where other people were from other people's point of view. So like when Cassian was like up in that like the high tower at that one point, like how he could see like where like Dedra was, or I think he saw Luthen. I'm pretty sure he saw Luthen, because that's why he knew to buy. Spoiler alert, if you are watching this far into this, then you already.
We've said spoiler like 4 times, so that's on you. That's a you problem.
Also, I'm not sure who listens to podcasts or watch YouTube videos about episodes before they watch that episode too. So that's, I mean,
I'm super guilty of doing that.
Well, that's all right. You're being a supportive friend.
I just like in general.
All right. Well, I was gonna say, because I've seen you comment on one of the Andor videos, and then now knowing that you didn't watch Andor until today,
I watched the intro stuff, and then I'll come back later now.
He watches. He goes for the dad jokes. That's what he goes for.
Yeah.
That's all he watches for. That's all right. Yeah, I liked how this.
I watch for your face,
shot.
Mark.
Oh boy.
Oh dang. Well, I'm just gonna turn my video off now. No.
I can turn it back on. I have the power.
Or can you do it? There we go. But yeah, so this episode, now we can start really getting into it. First thing I want to say is that before we get like into this part of the episode, talk about when that Imperial dude kicked over B2 Emo, I was like, all right, this morose mother effer needs to die, because nobody freaking messes with B2 Emo and doesn't die in the show. Like if like he had like, I don't know, but like if he had actually like broken B2 Emo and like that best droid ever died, then there would have been, I would have been like, all right, not watching season 2, because the best
that would have been an end for him. Andor, worst show ever, because B2 Emo died.
Yeah,
I really thought they were gonna blow him up.
Oh, we talked about it last week. We thought they were gonna like do something to him, and that's when Cassian was gonna make K2SO out of B2 Emo.
Okay, so I thought about that while watching this, and then I got really confused and thought about Solo. I was just like, but then didn't that droid become the Millennium Falcon?
Yeah.
And
yeah,
got sidetracked there.
Then he watched Solo, and then he came back.
But yeah, like you were saying, like some of our predictions didn't come to fruition. Like I had thought like maybe they'd come back to the whole Cassian's sister storyline by the end.
I think they will later, way later now. They have to.
Yeah,
I just thought they would 5 story. Maybe.
Although, like, I guess so. What I saw was gonna happen for season 2 is that when season 2 picks up, the first episode will be a year later from the events of this finale, and then
like we know already. I think they're gonna jump time way too much, and it's gonna hurt it. But that's just my opinion.
Hopefully not. Like, because they're gonna do the 3-episode arcs again. I know. But within each of those 3-episode arcs, it's going to be another year leading up to the events of Rogue One. So like the first 3 episodes is 4 years, so on, so forth. So hopefully that'll be kind of cool too, because then it'll be like 4 sets of like little like short like contained like story / movie kind of things.
Right.
And I know that he's already also said basically like the last kind of shots of the last episode of season 2 is basically going to be Cassian like walking off to where we then see him walk onto screen in Rogue One. So that should be interesting. And then I'm also I think I'm gonna wait. Well, I mean, I'll probably watch Rogue One again before then. But what I'd like to do once this season 2 is over too is like watch season 1, season 2, and then Rogue One, and kind of like see how that all like fits together and how that feels flow wise. But
right,
you finally got to see Blevin again after he's been like MIA for like.
I knew something was up with him because like, where'd he go for 3 episodes? And I got to rewatch it because I missed the whole freaking thing. They like, I didn't miss it. It was how I wasn't as focused as I needed to be because I didn't know what they were talking about, what he did. There was some attack that was, I just missed some details, but I knew he was up to something. I thought it was going to be different. Like he hired Cyril to work with Dedra or something so they could be office romance buddies.
Yeah.
But like the first opening shot of them soldering, as someone who knows how to solder, made me mad because it was just so poor. Like he's just like jamming the thing in there, not paying attention to what he's doing. I was upset by that. That bomb would not have worked, in my opinion.
That's jamming this thing in there, not knowing what he's doing.
No,
that's space soldering, sir. It's completely different.
Yeah,
it's from a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away.
You don't know
it's like
if the atmosphere is
space
the
screws and
same?
Space bricks.
Okay, but when you're soldering, I don't think you need a giant whole thing when you're putting it on a circuit board. It's
you just need both parties' consent.
True.
Speaking of consent, with Blevin and Cloris, when they were discussing the audio recording of Mothma and Perrin's conversation, that the whole scene with Mothma and Perrin in their vehicle, I was like, oh, is she throwing this dude under the bus? Because that's pretty awesome.
That's what I thought. It was that was her solution instead of the marriage thing.
I was just like,
I think it was kind of like a fallback just in case, like, and
yeah,
kind of like
but my initial thing was like, oh, what a clever thing to do, because Perrin is a knob, and we know that.
I was just completely like, how stupid is this dude when he's just like, oh, they can't hear us. Of course, everybody can hear you. This is Space Game of Thrones.
Yeah, Perrin is he's the worst.
Yeah.
He's like Britta from Community. He's the worst.
Yeah.
We're all over with the references. We're just not going to stop. We're going everywhere.
Yeah, like Mon knows
there was like 5 Star Wars episodes of Community. We can talk.
Yeah, it fits. I'm not mad.
Abed would be proud. But like I mean, Mon knows that like that driver's already listening to stuff. Like that's already why whenever she'd go to meet with
they had that little fake dialogue.
Have to do like so I did like that whole kind of like throwing him under the bus, kind of doing it in a veiled way to do that. And luckily for her husband sucks, and he has like all this like history of like gambling debt and crap, so it's believable. So, and then it's seemingly like we said, I don't think that that her daughter was like, that was like actually a marriage there. I think that was just like the meeting.
Well, yeah, she's going through with it, which indecent proposal accepted.
Yeah, that was the betrothal meeting.
Yeah.
So we'll have to see what happens with that too. But that was more or less like the extent of the like Mon Mothma's story within the finale. But I do like how it kind of set up and gets us ready for where she'll be in the next season. And we know like next season we're gonna see Yavin as well too. So it should be interesting. Now that's like one of the things I wonder too is like at the end of this, like we see like Brasso and well, during the course of the episode we see Cassian rescue Bix and get her on to this craft as well too. So yeah, it was that whole sequence was awesome too, with seeing Cassian like basically make his way like through the sewers,
being one step ahead.
Yeah.
And also it was kind of interesting, like all the players on Ferrix know exactly where the other people are hiding all the time. So that dude who's looking to collect his money from Cassian in episode 1 sells out to the Empire and then gets blown up.
Yeah. So one of the other, I'm trying to find it in here, but I remember there was like what Brasso had relayed to Cassian that Marva had said to him, which like that was one of the like unexpected things in the episode that like ended up making me cry like listening to it. She said, remember like the exact quote, but it was something like, "I love you more than anything you could ever do wrong."
Yeah, something
and
like
like
that.
just like yeah, just like the whole sentiment of like the whole thing. I was like, God damn. And then like this show has already been great for speeches, but in this episode we got the audiobook version of Nemec's manifesto, where we got to hear like his whole thing on that. And
well, was it the audiobook or was it just like him reading it and then them having them do the voiceover? Which one was it?
So I'm not sure, but like if it's one or the other, either way, it was cool that like how they had it like that. But I liked like the thing in there where he's like, the tyranny requires constant effort. It breaks, at least authority is brittle. But that like random, where was it, says the rebellion. Remember sorry. Freedom is a pure idea, it occurs spontaneously and without instruction. Random acts of insurrections are occurring constantly throughout the galaxy. So I thought like parts of that were great too. And then I think I had shared it with you, but like part of Marva's speech that she has like in her kind of like self-eulogy that she recorded in the Hollow, where it has like the whole thing was like fight these bastards, but then at the end like she says fight the Empire. And I think we saw or that like someone had said with the show that Disney had only said no to like one thing that they wanted to do on the show, and someone was pretty sure that it was supposed to be another F word.
Well, I mean, they said the word shit. They introduced the word shit to the Star Wars lexicon, so why not the word? I'll say it for you, Mark. I don't care.
Well, I was only not saying because I'm not sure of YouTube's rules for that word specifically. So I don't know. Well, yeah. What else were some of the things that you guys liked in the episode itself?
I'm defer to Justin. I've been talking a lot.
I think it was interesting watching the perspective from everybody, like going for Caspian, all sides of like who was after him. That chase scene in general was pretty interesting. I liked the use of community and music specifically to pull out that rebellion spirit, but at the same, like I make the joke about the Decemberists because it just sounds like modern folkish music. And
right, I thought that was really interesting. Like you could tell what the instruments were, like they just modified normal art instruments to make them look spacey.
Yeah,
it was really cool to have that parade type.
It's like your NFL marching bands.
Yeah,
mixed with a New Orleans funeral.
True. Yeah, it That was really interesting. I enjoyed that a lot, especially being in the marching band.
Oh yeah, got some flashbacks there. Uh, some of this other stuff with Marva and Brassos too is that I liked when going back to when B2 got knocked over. Brassos like was the audience there, and he's like, no, F that guy, and he like
bashed him in the face with Marva.
Yeah, like freaking like smashed him in the face with it.
Broke Marva. He broke her.
Yeah, well, she got to throw the first stone like she had wanted to do.
Yeah,
because she was the first stone.
Where's Marva?
Where is she? Why did you say that name? The other thing I liked during like this whole scene too is when and he's not, so I have been calling him the bell ringer, but I guess his like actual credited name in the episode is called the Time Grappler, which is
it's really better than the bell ringer.
Yeah, Time Grappler. But I liked
that's
when
my UFC, or that's my wrestling name, man.
Well, there you go.
Oh,
yeah, when he
Disney owns it now.
When this is Sparta, that stormtrooper.
That was so funny. Oh my god, that was so awesome.
Tower.
That stormtrooper's just walking up, and he's just like boot to the face.
Yeah, like, what was the stormtrooper's plan when he got up there? Like he wasn't even.
Why was it only one stormtrooper? Why wasn't it like 4 going up?
It's the ineptitude of the Empire.
Yeah.
Oh, that was so funny. I thought, but that just made me like, while I laugh, it makes me so mad he didn't get hit in the face with the hammer. When are we going to see someone get hit in the face with a hammer in Star Wars now? 2 series, 2 hammers, no bludgeonings. What the hell?
Yeah. What was the droid's name in Obi-Wan that had the hammer?
Ned B.
Oh yeah. Ned B not hitting people with the hammer.
Nope. He had every opportunity to do it. Time Grappler could have done it. He decided to use his foot.
Disappointment.
Ned B disappointment, even though he sacrificed himself.
Yeah. No hammer hitting, man.
Ned B a good boy. The other thing I liked in here, well, I thought was, so the one thing during like this whole skirmish too is like Cyril and his super crappy best friend were also
Commissioner Gordon from Batman.
Oh yeah.
No, it wasn't Gordon. It wasn't Gordon, was it?
Oh no, it was like the original commissioner, like that's in the
forget his name.
Yeah,
we talked about it early on. But he was in Batman. He was in the Batman.
Like when Bix's, like I don't remember the dude's name, but like there's so many characters, but the guy that had run the shop that they tortured before Bix, his son, that who had, you didn't like the soldering he was doing.
Oh yeah.
When he threw the bombs and that, at that point, Cyril had seen that Dedra was there, so like he like runs.
I thought for sure he was gonna eat it. I thought Cyril was gonna eat it, and then the more like the split second later, I was like, no, this would be like a hero's death, and they won't do that for him. And I got mad because I want Cyril to die.
I kind of hoped that it was just that he would just like die randomly in that, and that like it wouldn't be like any kind of like ceremony to it at all. Like,
no,
so
that's what I get.
There's like that other shot of one of the town folk that like got shot with like the blaster bolt by one of the stormtroopers, and they like, just hold on his face for like 5 seconds or so.
Right.
I kind of wish that they just done something like that with like Cyril, where like he just gets blasted in that, and we're like, oh, that's how he dies because he's not important.
He's just running along and dead.
Yeah. So and then that whole scene after her, like
it was so awkward. I thought they were just like making out, and I was like,
yeah, it was very weird, tensiony stuff. Like she was also probably still like heightened and like scared from what was going on, and she already knows this dude's like creepy and has been like basically following her,
stalking her,
and stuff. So she's happy that she's not dead, but she's like, maybe I'm still not safe though too. So that's
They're the
why
same
like when she's
person.
like, yeah, she's like, I think I should thank you? Question mark.
Her and Cyril are the same person. She's just successful, whereas he is not.
What did
Who
you think of
knows?
that, Justin?
Maybe they're split personality, and
that was the scene I was talking about. That the acting I found interesting in the choice of her reaction.
Just because of like all the like adrenaline and whatnot still there.
Yeah. Yeah. It was weird to me. Not necessarily the direction I would have gone, but hey, I'm not armchair Disney.
True. It's just interesting. Again, the ineptitude of the Empire on display, because she's this tough, like ball buster, like knows every rule in the book. But when push comes to shove and the shit hits the fan, what's she doing? She's running. She doesn't know what's going on, getting dragged off by the horde and basically almost going to die immediately because she's just not prepared. They have all these rules that they follow, but they're not practical. Inept.
Yeah.
I still have a hard time with her logic of connecting Andor to the rebellion, to access to all of it. I feel like there was some jumps for her as a character that she did that paid off to getting her Andor and having like connections, because like this is him joining the rebellion, yet he's so already interconnected to some parts of it.
I think her whole thing was
because they knew that he had interacted with the access person that they were trying to find, that they don't know was Luthen, but they knew that he had like interacted with him.
But like the way they get there, I just, it was something that always like hung in like the background, and seeing her always show up for these things kind of was hanging there for me. It's just,
well, I think that was
coincidence a little bit, I feel,
right
to her getting that report for Cyril and stuff that like triggers, well, maybe it's connected somehow.
Yeah, that was like one maybe downfall of the series, was the lack of showing how things happen.
I want my, Charlie with the board and this twine, or Hero from Heroes with the Isaac Mendez part
Pepe
print.
Silva. There's no Pepe Silva.
So I need that a little bit right now.
Yeah, that's because they just all of a sudden come back and be somewhere completely forward in the story, and you're like, okay.
One minute he's getting hired for a job, then the next he's being pulled aside, being like, so you know about who did the robbery because you filed this report about a murderer.
What do you know about space bird law?
You're not well versed in bird law, but
yeah, I am curious about like where we'll see some of these characters when it's a year later from where we end with some of them. Like I had started saying, then I kind of segued off, but like with the whole crew, like with Bix and Brasso and B2MO.
Where did he tell him to go? Did he tell him to go to a specific place?
He said,
I know he's like, do blah, 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 and I'll meet you there. And B2 Emo's like, you always say that.
Yeah, or I don't see where it said they were going, but I felt bad for like B2 again though, because like he's like, oh, Cassian, hey, what's up? And Cassian's like, all right, bye.
Oh wait, you're leaving, bye. Crap.
He's like,
B2 is just the little brother that has to stay home to take care of the sick parents, and his older brother gets to go and live his adventurous life.
Yeah.
Tale as old as time.
And so, and then there's some other stuff in here too. Like I liked, like we've been saying it too with like the cinematography. There's some really cool shots in this episode.
That shot of the stormtrooper, the lone stormtrooper in front of the hotel with the thunderstorm, I thought was just beautiful.
Oh, yeah.
It told the whole story of what's going to happen in that shot.
Yeah, and there's like the shot of like Cassian like kind of framed in the doorway of that ship that he was in the first episode too, kind of like silhouetted with it starting raining there as well too. That I thought was pretty cool. I like that he also gets kind of the drop on Luthen and is already like in Luthen's ship because he parked in the same spot that he did last time. So Cassian's like, I know where this guy parks. I'll just go to that place. And we got.
Have you seen a pod racer? Sorry to interrupt.
I think so. Like maybe like part of one, like in the like one of the shops with like the parts and stuff.
Sorry to interrupt. Go back to what you're saying. I got a little gun happy, trigger happy. That's the word.
Well, the only thing I was saying was that I liked that the flashback that we got in here too. This show's been good for flashbacks. Like Obi-Wan had a few flashbacks in it, like specifically like the Anakin Obi-Wan flashbacks there, which usually you don't really like see flashbacks of Star Wars. So it's been cool between, I guess, like Boba Fett's like back to tank flashbacks that he had, and then the flashbacks we had in Obi-Wan with Obi-Wan and Anakin there, and then now the flashbacks that we had spread out in Andor over like the first episode and like this last episode.
We had
with,
Mando
like, Cassian.
flashbacks too to when he was rescued.
Oh yeah. So I guess like this new era of, I guess basically like the Disney Plus shows is like the first time we're seeing like flashbacks to different stuff, because that I don't believe
They did it in the sequel trilogy.
Yeah,
They
in
did?
the Skywalker series.
Yeah,
Because you get the
but those
flashback of Rey being left and flashback
those
of
I almost considered more to be
Yes.
like visions that she was having though. Like,
visions,
because they weren't
flashbacks.
because they weren't like done like in the traditional kind of like flashbacks. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Or
there was no doo-doo-doo.
yeah, we didn't have Mike Myers come through. But I liked that scene with Cassian and Clem. As like Cassian's touching the brick on the wall, which maybe is Clem.
That's what I took it to be. That was his brick.
Yeah, so I liked all these like kind of like this more backstory we got with that seemingly is kind of like where Cassian gets his point of reference with like how the Empire so sure of themselves and satisfied, because basically from the same conversation as he and his adoptive dad had about like they don't like look down, they just discard stuff and don't like look at it again,
Right.
So they don't notice anything. So I liked that kind of building there, and you can see between like that and then like the Marva's self-eulogy that she has, like kind of like the building blocks for like why Cassian is the way that he is. So I liked that kind of character building that we kind of saw more with like those flashbacks as well.
Right. No, not really a flashback, but I don't know if it was supposed to be kind of a callback. What was with the hat switching that Cyril and that rando that dude did?
The only
Like
thing
what?
I noticed though there, I thought was maybe just to make it, I don't know, just that because one matched with the other one's outfit better than the other one did.
I was just like, I didn't know, because they tried to make it secretive, it felt, those two, not like the director. It was just like, okay, they switched hats, but why?
Because they're dumb. Just because they're like, oh, we got to make this look super cool and inspire. So like, all right, I'll take off my hat and you take off your hat and we'll switch them. And then disguise. Nobody will know who we are now.
Yeah, I didn't understand that at all.
Yeah, that was kind of, maybe it meant something else, but I think it was just because those two are dummies and they thought they were being smart.
They are quite stupid. Quite stupid. Oh.
They're like if Pinky and the Brain were both Pinky.
Man, we're going everywhere.
Yeah, Pinky and Pinky. But was there
Pinky
any
and
other?
Pinky sounds like a call sign for the pitchforks.
Oh no. Wasn't that pre-show dialogue?
Yeah. And was there anything else you guys wanted to say about the finale?
Cinta there killing that dude. And then her and Vel like not being on the same page. Is she more in the rebellion than Vel? Was Vel just like, I need money, I don't care? That's I'm just trying to figure their dynamic back, because I always thought they were like lovers, like forbidden lovers in a way.
It's forbidden in the sense that it won't be allowed in China, but it
wouldn't be allowed on wherever Vel and Mon Mothma and Baron are from.
Oh yeah, right? Well, that has arranged marriage and stuff still.
So,
but no, I think it was just like you can still have different political views as your spouse, and some might be more passionate about it.
I just like, it was strange. I was trying to figure it out, like,
and she did say that, like, I told you when we got together that the rebellion would always come first.
I guess I missed that in my broke up viewing, so maybe that's part of the problem. Because the more like Vel started out as this like hardcore person, I was like digging her character, and then the more time went on, I'm like, you're kind of useless. Just kind of useless. Because she could have gave Mon 400,000 credits. She had to have had it. She could have.
No way. How would she have that kind of money?
She stole it from Aldani. You
think that really went to her? That went to fund the rebellion.
Yeah, but she knows where it went. She knows where it's hidden.
This is before they have a Mothma.
You think that she didn't put it in a pool and Scrooge McDuck that those credits?
Yeah, I think she didn't. She's waiting until she befriends Mon Calamari to do that, because they got the jelly bucks, and it wouldn't hurt as much.
We're everywhere.
Hey, that's at least Star Wars still. That's straight up Mandalorian.
I'll allow it.
It's like my Chewbacca just came in. But okay. All right, so like,
no, I'm excited to see where they're going with it. I can't. Next season can't start soon enough for me.
Which I don't think it comes out until 2024.
You mentioned Book of Boba Fett, and that was kind of a letdown series. Obi-Wan was redeeming, and then this one just brought it back up to a level where I was excited for more Star Wars again. Like, they were reaffirmed a lot for me. Disney didn't ruin it 100% yet.
I just am glad we didn't find out that Andor was the one that hid Grogu.
Still time.
Still time.
Yeah, what was really cool about this first season of the show is that it still felt like Star Wars without having any Jedi, any lightsabers. I think this is actually the first
Star Wars. He had lightsabers on his ship. What are you talking about?
Those are just lasers. And there wasn't any lightsaber.
There was no
hilts.
Jedi using anything.
Yeah.
There was no hand waving.
No, yeah.
That's for me now.
Yeah, this is strictly like the proto-Rebel Alliance versus the Imperials portion of Star Wars. I mean, there's been plenty of speculation that maybe Luthen is Force sensitive or whatnot, just like based on some of the stuff that he's said and done. Which, I mean, that could be interesting. We'll see if anything comes from that.
He's just sensitive. I'm
curious, like, when we'll see Melshi again next season. After like he kind of departed at Cassian the last episode. Just because we know that by the time of Rogue One, he's with Cassian again, and he's like heading up like one of the parts of like their military stuff there. So I'm interested to see kind of like what that buildup is over like the 4 arcs that we'll get next season, leading up to, in those last 4 years before Rogue One.
Will we actually get to see Forrest Whitaker do anything besides talk?
Be suspicious.
Don't be suspicious. Don't be suspicious.
They got to show him become asthmatic like everybody else.
No, they're just going to do that off panel sometime.
Well, like he's kind of easy to kind of like integrate into stuff too, because he's been in so many things now, between like the Jedi Fallen Order video game and Bad Batch and Clone Wars and
Rebels,
that you can kind of base it off of where his hair's at, and then like what all apparitions he's got like on his suit at that
maybe
point.
Luthen shoots him or something. That's how Luthen dies, is in a duel.
Could happen. That'll be interesting. Like you already see like where he's getting like very even more paranoid with stuff, just based off of like that whole conversation that they had between Luthen and Saw in one of the previous episodes, which that reminds me of I think I sent it to both of you. It was the Thanksgiving meme of Saw where it said pies, confections, every day more pies.
Yep, you sent that.
Yeah,
but
made me laugh.
We know who dies because we know who's not in Rogue One and who's not there after Rogue One. So, in a sense, we know who dies.
They could just be off screen.
Yeah, they're at catering.
They're like Minkus on down that other hallway
with Mr. Turner.
With Mr. Turner.
Jesus, man, we're everywhere.
Shout out to our friend Jonathan Turner, who had the same name as the character Jonathan Turner in Boy Meets World. But yeah, yep. It segues back into it because I don't know, voice acting. Will Friedle, voice actor. Jason Marsden, voice actor. One of them, I'm pretty sure, has done some voice acting within Star Wars at some point. So it correlates back into it.
You hope they've done some voice acting within Star Wars.
Well, I think that will wrap us up for our...
What a note to end on.
Our Andor season
Talk
1
about a
finale.
brown note.
Yes, Andor season 1. Right now, it is currently my favorite TV series of this year. I think overall, it's maybe my favorite Star Wars TV series that they've done so far too. Which actually, it just like barely beat Clone Wars. But
wait, you can.
What? Shots
I'm
fired.
I'm just saying, Clone Wars. There's a lot more of it.
Shots
that makes it better.
Fired.
I mean,
well, currently, it is that. Oh, Sylvie is just over here off screen, just making as much noise as possible, climbing over junk and everything. She's like,
she's upset with your ranking.
Yeah,
no,
she knows. Clone Wars. That's the place.
Man,
Clone Wars is still the best animated Star Wars.
No.
And then Andor is the best.
Oh, man.
It is the best.
He's about to break out the time grappler on you.
This might be a discussion for a different Star Wars. So this is for anybody watching. This is my current rank. It's not.
We can't see it,
but I do like that. That Black Adam is number 3.
What?
From the picture on the screen, it looked like the poster for Black Adam.
Oh no, it was Obi-Wan.
Oh, definitely. Just see like kind of yellow text and black hooded figure. I thought Black Adam.
Yeah, so my current ranking right now is Andor, then Clone Wars, then Obi-Wan, then Mandalorian, then Rebels, then Tales of the Jedi, then the Tartakovsky Genndy Tartakovsky micro series, 2D animated Clone Wars, then Bad Batch, then Visions, then Boba Fett, then droids, then Ewoks. Remember droids and Ewoks? Those are the two animated series.
I remember
Those
getting
are-
a VHS of droids when I purchased my VHS copy of episode 1.
Those are on Disney Plus.
There you go. They live.
But that will do it for us for Andor season 1.
Someone's buying a ticket to Phoenix to go get into a fight.
Nah, we're good.
Well, I might seem like I'm going to throw down the gloves, but nah.
I don't like doing. I hate doing rankings, so I don't really. I'm a cop out.
And if you would like to see Mike not rank anything, you can check out his ranking of the entire Star Wars films on his
I did
YouTube
it
channel.
for views. I did it. I don't like.
It's also
doing
in a
it.
playlist. It's also in a playlist on our channel because I made a playlist of all Mike's Star Wars related videos from his own channel.
Because rankings happen, and like if you're in a bad mood, you can rank things poorly. And then you got to go back and like hedge your bets. So
yeah, that's true.
I can tell you what I don't like and what I like.
That's true.
Who cares how much I like it? Who cares how much I hate it? Like,
You need to quantify it. For all number crunchers here.
It's all subjective anyways. So
Yeah.
that's why my whole take on Star Wars fandom should just be that everybody likes what they like, everybody doesn't like what they don't like, and no one has to get upset about people's personal opinions unless they become destructive like in certain other cases. But as long as everyone is like having, constructive, well thought out like discussions about things that they like and are still able to be considerate of one another, that's like the best thing about having a fandom about anything, is just being able to talk to people about stuff that you like. And that's why I like doing this with you all from time to time. But I think that's a better note to end on than where we were. So for that, you can leave us a review on the podcast catcher of your choice if it allows you to do so. Spotify, Apple Podcasts. You can also like this video on YouTube if you're watching the video version of it. Subscribe, do all that stuff. Hit the bell. And then with all of our places you can find us on social media and online, those are all in the show notes for Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, here on YouTube as well. There's also information for us individually on Instagram and Twitter here in the show notes, for myself and Mike. And then where can they find you again, Justin?
You can catch me at Twitter and Hive as at Beef Gyorfi, Gyorfi.
Nice. And then everyone can find Vactor, the other Justin, just
the better
Vactor.
Justin.
I think it's a tie. Yeah, tie. And then you can email us at holdapod@gmail.com. But then, like we always say, as always, we are grateful to George Lucas for creating the Star Wars universe. And Mike was muted, so thank the maker. And
hit the button.
You
Sorry.
You did it just so that I had to say it. But that's gonna do it for you guys. So that's been our coverage for Andor, and we will see you next episode talking about Galaxy's Edge.
What an episode.
I'm on the edge of my seat.
It was fun. It was good times. I hate these headsets because it has this stupid dongle with this mute button that's too easy to press. Because it hangs down right where I normally put my hand, and I always hit the damn thing. And it gives me no notification. It doesn't like beep or anything in my ear to say I hit it.
That's weird.
It's got a little red light, but it's like if I accidentally hit it, I don't see it because it's way down. And it was free. That's what I get for using free. Should have stole the headset they used to play that screaming child in from Andor and used that.
Yeah. Then you'd be liberating it.
That's right.
And Andor's all about liberation.
There you go.